Hi, I'm Stephanie Talon.
And I'm Zach Jacobs.
Welcome to week 5 of our General Assembly updates. Zach, since the money committees finished their work, we know what's in the budgets or what to expect from the House and Senate budgets. How about we do a quick rapid-fire overview of some of our budget priorities?
Sounds good.
All right, great. Let's jump right in. How about Ag BMPs?
Ag BMPs is a big one this year. I mean, we got full funding in the governor's budget for all of the Ag BMP cost share programs, along with both in the House and Senate, $350,000 for 2 agronomic and engineering positions over at DCR, and then $1 million in both budgets to upgrade the tracking system to keep better statistics on how our cost share programs are doing.
Fantastic. And an issue we worked on last year, expanding meat processing capacity.
Yeah, that was that study was really successful last year and led us to 2 successful budget items, one in the House for $1.25 million and $1 million in the Senate that would go to incentivize funding for the meat processing capacity.
Great. And how about dairy? So the Dairy Margin Coverage Producer Premium Assistance Program, that mouthful of a title, how about that one?
Yes, that one also was able to secure funding in both the House and Senate at $1 million to carry that program through.
Great. And then another issue a lot of our producers deal with, wildlife damage. How about funding for the Virginia Cooperative Wildlife Damage Management Program?
Yep, so the Senate was able to give $200,000 to that, so we'll see how that kind of works out once the budget negotiations kind of start taking place here.
Great. Farmland preservation.
Again, the Senate came through with $2 million for that, so we'll have to wait and see how those negotiations work out, but the Senate was generous in giving us $2 million for preservation.
Great. How about the Forest Sustainability Fund?
Again, the Senate pulling through here with a $10 million budget amendment there for the Forest Sustainability Fund. So we'll see how that ends up in the final call as well.
Now, unfortunately, we've seen some outbreaks of avian influenza even here in Virginia now recently, and so we were working to increase the amount of authorization of funding that the governor could authorize for indemnity payments for livestock producers in the event of a disease outbreak or a natural disaster. Where do we stand with that?
Right, so this is a little different than all these other budget items that we're kind of talking about. So this would increase the governor's authority to utilize unappropriated general fund dollars at the end of the fiscal year. So what he was able to do previously, or our governor was able to do, was $1.5 million, and so we were successful in getting language in both the House and the Senate budget that would increase that ability to $5 million to give to those programs to combat things like disease outbreak here in the Commonwealth.
Great. That's one of those ones we hope we don't have to use, but it's good to have in there just in case.
Yes, absolutely.
How about invasive species eradication?
Yep, so the Senate included additional money within VDACs, Department of Forestry, DCR, and DWR to kind of combat some of the invasive species that we're seeing around the state.
Great. And lastly, an issue I know a lot of our members care about across Virginia, additional funding for FFA.
Yeah, so while no money was cut from FFA programs, we were not successful in getting some additional money for FFA that would pay for membership dues for students, increase funding for state FFA staff to carry out their roles, and then also we're unsuccessful in getting the funding for the Agricultural Experience Tracker online subscription for all of our ag education students in the state.
And that's disappointing, and Zach, I know you know that sometimes these budget amendments and these additional budget fundings are a multi-year process, and I think we really actually took some strides this year in at least putting the issue on members' radars, on legislators' radars, and letting them know exactly how important this is to Farm Bureau members and farmers really all across Virginia. So, it may be, over for this year, but we'll still keep working on it in years to come.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Yep. Great. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll have a weekly email update coming out soon as well, and we'll see you next week.